Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Awakened Woman podcast. I'm Claire, and I have a fantastic guest for this episode 4 coming in for season 2. So, thank you again for listening. Thank you all to our new subscribers that are coming along. It is phenomenal scope that we are able to do what we do and share our message. And I'm going to be really excited about today's call today. And the guest that I have on is coming in all the way from the US in California. So, this is the scope that social media, that podcasting does now, that we as women have an opportunity to work globally. So thank you all. My name is Claire Burt. I'm the identity coach here at Inspired Lifestyles, and I help women break away from the status quo and to really feel free and release the layers so that they feel seen, heard, and loved, and even break up with the stigma or the controls that they feel within their journey in life as women, as mothers, and as workers. So thank you again. I'm going to introduce a beautiful woman who is joining us from California. Now, we were chatting just before I clicked live, and it is really interesting that it's winter in California. It's summer here in Melbourne, Australia. I'm in a singlet that's in a bright blue color that should be California colors. And my beautiful guest, Niki, is wearing a jacket. So it just seems a little odd for us that we are sitting here in summer and winter, and it should be the opposite way around. So ladies and everyone who is joining me, please give the biggest, warmest welcome to Niki Morton. Niki, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are you, sweetheart?
Hi, Claire. Thanks for having me on. It's funny you say that because when I think of Australia, I definitely think of summer. So that's probably what you think for me as well.
It
But
is.
thank you so much. I'm doing great today. I'm just had my mom help out with my daughter, so I could chat with you, and I'm looking forward
Yay.
to the next chat that we're gonna have.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now I have my boys home because it's almost we got summer holidays, so they go back to school next week. So luckily for those listening, it's obviously not an audio file, but you may hear some weird stuff going on in the background because I'm a mum of 2 boys.
Oh,
They're 7 and they're 11, so it gets a little hectic. So for me, they're locked away doing stuff at the moment, so it's all good. Niki, you're joining us from California. You have multiple hats that you wear as a mother, as a business owner. Wait till you hear the powerful work Niki's doing. Who is Niki Morton?
well, I'm a new mom to my daughter named Ashton. She's 3 months old. As you said, I wear multiple hats. I support and advocate for endometriosis, which is a lot of women have, and it's not really well known. And then I also had some infertility help to conceive Ashton. My husband and I seek some medical assistance, so we're advocates for that as well. On top of that, I am currently in grad school to be a social worker. Specifically, actually, my hope is to be a neonatal social worker, so working with moms after they have their babies. Um, and then I work on top of that, my normal job. I'm a project manager for a design agency. And then last but not least, I opened up or started my own baking business. And so I bake from home. And I actually kind of switched gears and I started making lactation treats because I've had a great mom community here where I live. And I was making them for myself and found it's a need because a lot of moms here go back to work and then they drop their supply. So that's kind of been my focus. But like you said, I have a lot going on.
But it's so refreshing to hear that you are challenging yourself and you're not just succumbing to, I have a brand new daughter. I've had these struggles. Let's not call them issues.
Hmm.
Let's call them struggles. And I'm not succumbing to that. I'm going to still power through. I'm still going to ask for help. And I think as mums, we mentioned just before, my boys are a little older, but in those first year when they're just brand new, there's the village that you rely on to help keep you going is so
Hmm.
important. And I love the fact that you are going back and you are following a passion, because those of us who do coaching and leading from a place of love and in great intention and warmth have so much more to give and will have such a great trajectory because you're teaching from a place of experience. You're not teaching from a book. So social working and specializing in your niche and in your neonatal is going to be so powerful because you can relate. You're not just someone who's come out of college or university and is telling a mother or sharing
Hmm.
with a mother some strategies when you don't even know how that feels. So imagine that. Imagine the power that you hold in your hand to be able to help another woman and another family through that, knowing that you've been through the same thing. That is really, really powerful. And I wish you all the success for that. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's kind of what keeps me going when, people support me in that way. It reminds me that I do have a lot going on, but I can do it, and kind of brings me back to why I'm doing it.
Absolutely. And I think when you find that power, when you find that identity that this feels so good, how can it be wrong? It
Mhm.
doesn't feel like work, right? Are you feeling that this is going to be something that's just going to be a massive evolution for you?
Definitely. And I think a lot of it too is I do have rough days, but then my husband just, who is my number one supporter, reminds me, I'm obviously doing it for my daughter, but I'm also doing it for me. So that way I can be happy and I can be healthy and I can be the best mom to her.
Absolutely. And the flow and effect to that is it's not just to your daughter, Ashton, it's to your husband. It's
Mhm.
you create a new level, up leveled in your relationships, then your friendships evolve, and then your workplace and your business evolve. The ripple effect for us women working on ourselves is so, so underrated, would you say?
Definitely, I agree. And I think a lot of people are kind of stigmatized that once you're a mom, that's just kind of who you are.
Oh, it's so true because that's what we grew up with, right? That's what our generations told us. That's what we experienced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we said this off air. You go to work, or you go to university, you get an education, you get a job, you work, you may get married, you may have a family, and then that's your identity. You're just a mum and just a wife, and just keeping everything happy while everyone else seems to venture out. Um, and something that I'm so, so passionate about is self-parenting, in a sense that we wouldn't ask our kids to just settle into
Mm-hmm.
that you're just a wife, you're just a husband, a partner, or worker. We would ask them to chase their dreams. So then why are we not doing the same for ourselves? Um, and I think that's where the massive disconnect is that we're not living a life we're promoting for our kids.
You're completely right. And something that really stood out to me when I was pregnant, I was seeing a therapist who she specialized in infertility, and I continued to see her through all of my pregnancy. And I had expressed to her I apologize if you hear my daughter crying in the
That's
background.
okay. My boys are about to go
um,
bananas.
I had expressed to her, my fears about going back to work. Is school the right decision? It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take me away from my daughter. I think a lot of fears that a lot of women have. And her advice that really stuck with me was, you're going to be a mom, but that doesn't have to be your only identity. There's no one forcing you, or you shouldn't feel like you're forced to now change into that role and only that role. You are a mom, but you're also all those other things that you were before, so you can continue to be them. And basically just reassured me that I don't have to put myself into a new identity. I think that sometimes, of course, becoming a mom is the best thing to ever happen to me. And a lot of other women, I'm sure they feel that same way. But also sometimes when people just go, "You're Ashton's mom," I do get a little upset because I am her mom, but I'm also so many other things. And I think you're right that, I don't want to just call myself just her mom because I'm so many other things in that.
Exactly. And you will always be the basis of who you are, you know, and it's the
Mhm.
same as when I was in corporate, I walked into work, and one of the things that many things I loved at my time during my time in the corporate world, but I walked in and I wasn't the boy's mum, I wasn't Colin's wife, I wasn't anything, I was me. And then I walked in and I did that. And then when I got home, I wasn't the people manager, I wasn't the leader, I wasn't anything. I was back into being wife and mum mode. And that sort of helped me get through those darker moments. But definitely finding your identity and de- detaching from being just a mum, like you just said. So just being Ashton's mum really doesn't light your soul on fire as such, because there's only so much that you can talk about. She's such a young age too, that you still want
Mhm.
to be able to talk to women about anything other than sometimes being a mum. When you catch
Mhm.
up with other mums, you want to talk about what's on TV. You want to talk about where they're going. Have they had coffee? You want to talk about something other than being a mum,
Mhm.
because that's what you live. That's your reality for 20 hours a day if they sleep,
Yes.
right? If they sleep, you're lucky. So that is so, so, so important. And I love the fact that you sought the help and you found someone who spoke a language that you recognized and you resonated with. and that she provided something so simple in terms of comfort and reassured to you that you're still going to be the same person. That underlying all of these little hats in the organization chart that is Niki, you're still Niki. Just
Mm-hmm.
on these days and in these times, you're mum and wife, and now you're a business owner, you're a student.
Mm-hmm.
That being adventurous and being ambitious and asking for more as a mum is not a bad thing. Would you agree?
Completely agree. I have to ask for help all the time, and sometimes I feel defeated that I have to ask for help, and then I have to remember it's okay because asking for help makes me a better whatever I am at that moment, a better student, better mom, better wife. And it took me a while. I mean, I've only been a mom for 3 months now, but it took me a while to realize that I need to ask for help, and it's okay. I'd rather ask for help than quit all these things I love.
Well, that's the thing. And I think I mentioned this to someone the other day, a friend of mine, and we live in such an opportunistic world as a woman in today's day and age that we have so much choice and opportunity in terms of how we work. We work from home, we work online, we work traditionally, and that's great. But are we paralyzed by the choice? And I think that we still want to try and do it all. It's just that there's so much on our plate now. We
Hmm.
can't, we feel, like you said, you're fearful and you're guilty about saying no to things because someone might judge you. So if you say no to something, what is someone else going to think? And that was something that I struggled with for a long time, was opinions and judgments from others.
Hmm.
Um, and as a people pleaser, it makes it even worse because you're
Me
so,
too.
oh, it's so difficult. But then you feel really awful and tired and frustrated at the end of the day because you should have just said no without justifying it. But it doesn't work that way, does it?
Nope, not at all. And you're completely right. I'm not only a people pleaser, but I like everything to be perfect and
Mm-hmm.
my way. And I'm very competitive, so I like to prove to myself I can do things. And then I
Mm-hmm.
end up really stressed out at the end of the night, and I wonder why I did that. But then at the same time, I do it, and then I feel really good.
Yeah. And I think if we circle back to allowing people to help us, I think we're also empowering others that they can help us and it makes them feel good. I
Hmm.
remember for a long time, it took me, similar to you, it took me a really long time, and I'm going to say almost 8 years until I realized I needed help from people without dictating how I wanted the help done. As a
Yeah.
perfectionist and as a people pleaser, as long as the kids are happy and healthy, I think that's really important
I'm still
as
working
well.
on that.
Oh, it'll come. It's always a work in progress. Masterpieces take time. Absolutely. So I want to talk a little about energetics. Now, your mum, obviously, Ashton, is just new, and it can be difficult on the days where she's unsettled, days like today, where you're joining me on a podcast. How important is finding that energetic balance and feeling positive and good important to how you are as a mum and as a wife?
Oh gosh, it's so important because I think, well, first of all, children are brilliant, and even at 3 months old, she can sense my behavior. She can sense my attitude. If I'm having a stressful day or a bad day, she can sense it, and it sets her mood. So I think that balance is really important because it's not just me anymore. It's my household that, I don't run my household per se, but I kind of do in the sense of if mom's having a bad day and mom falls apart, then the whole house falls apart. So it's definitely, I think, important and just, like I said earlier, being maintaining that in order to be a good mom, because otherwise I want to be her role model and I want to be I'm networking with other moms and I want to be a role model to them. So I think it's very important to find that balance.
And it's about the relatability and to be vulnerable enough to share that on the bad days. You're sharing it when you're not feeling it. You're not showing up with a fake mask that everything's perfect and happy. And then as soon as you jump off the story or the live or the stream or the chat, you're a completely different person. I think it takes a vulnerable person who is okay to share that it's a tough day, and ask for help, like we've just spoken. But it doesn't all have to be done today. On the good days, we do what we can. On the bad days, we do what we can. And I think as women and as mums who are like us, who are multitasking,
Mhm.
wearing different hats, we need to prioritize rest. because we then verge down the path of rundown, burnout, exhaustion, and no one needs that. Our houses will completely stop, not slow down, stop if we are in bed, okay, and we can't do what we want to do because as natural, feminine, energetic women, nurturing and collaboration is something that is a part of our soul. We are born nurturers in our own way, and we want to take care of people. We want to make people feel good. But if we can't do that because we've pushed ourselves to the absolute brink, then we must prioritize rest. So, how do you prioritize rest with a busy schedule, studying, and a 3 month old? What are some of your ways that you prioritize rest?
For me, I'm all about I don't like to procrastinate,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps me rest. So, for example, studying, even though it's a bummer, I know my husband's home on the weekends and I study all day because then the rest of the week I can go at my own pace. I can go at my daughter's pace, and then that allows me to rest. It allows me to not be stressed out, panicking, doing things at the last minute. If the house is dirty, I'm not, stressing out that I haven't done the dishes in 3 days because I can kind of take my time doing it. And to me, that's rest because I'm still going to do it. For me, rest isn't necessarily taking a nap for an hour. I've just never been one to nap. But for me, it's just being able to do things at my own pace. So I do all the kind of icky, boring stuff in the beginning. That way I can allow myself the grace to relax the rest of the week. And that's really helped me.
Oh, I love that. And back in the leadership days, even myself now, I structure my week so that at the start of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are heavy working days.
Hmm.
So that Thursday and Friday being here with my boys, they're at sport during school, so I can be there for those moments. I can be there. I can spend days, Thursday doing things, whatever I like around here, catching up with women, my clients, but I do structure my life the same way, and it runs so much better when I
Hmm.
structure my weeks like that rather than doing pockets every day because I feel flustered. And similarly to
Me
you,
too, definitely.
and then I get overwhelmed, and then I get angry, and then I just want to eat chocolate on the couch watching Netflix because I
Yeah, and then
avoid
you
the issue.
regret all the yeses that you, like you said earlier, you regret that you took on so much
Yeah,
instead of just feeling, Friday comes around and you feel so accomplished.
yeah, you do. And you ease into the weekend, right? You get
Mhm.
to be present with your partner. You can actually have those moments together when the,
And you
the
just have a
kids are
couple
settled.
days where you just feel human again.
Oh, so good, isn't it? You'll get there. I'm coming from an experience of, 11 and 7 year old. So I've been there, but you will
Yeah.
get there. Your three is she's going to be amazing. She's going to do incredible things. So if you were to, you're networking with mums around you, you are supporting women around you, and the study and the path that you're on is going to do incredible things in terms of social work. What are three things you would tell a brand new mum who, like us, is struggling to be the perfect mum, the perfect wife right now? What would be three things that you could tell her so that she can calm and be centered?
Mm. I mean, honestly, I feel like they're tried and true advice that everyone says, but of course, the first one is like we've been saying, ask for help because honestly, the first month or so is really hard, but everyone wants to help you. And then that kind of newborn phase fades out and everyone's life goes on. Ask for help because a lot of people, they get out of that newborn baby honeymoon phase and they think you don't need help anymore. They just don't understand. They're happy to help you. So that would be my first advice. The second one is as much as you want to do stuff, as much as you want to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm trying to learn this myself, take the time to enjoy your kids because it goes by so quickly. Everyone says that it goes by so quickly. Yesterday, I watched a video on TikTok about how you're gonna one day miss those little gummy smiles when the baby's teeth come in and they don't do them anymore. And it made me cry because it's going by so quickly. And I just feel like I have so much going on. Am I giving myself enough time for my child? So really just enjoy it, soak it all in. Third, I don't know. I guess I would just say kind of tying into both. Let your husband help you, your partner, your parents, whoever it is that's your support group. Don't be a control freak like me. If your partner wants to go grocery shopping, if your partner wants to figure out what dinner is for the week, just let them do it. That's
Oh,
my
I love
advice
that.
because
Oh,
I
so
feel
good.
like I hold on to everything has to be perfect in my way and I have to eat healthy and we have to spend a certain budget or whatever. Don't worry about that right now because going into point one and point two, get the help, use that time instead with your child, and just accept that your partner might get frozen food again or something. My husband likes to get steak and potatoes. I'm tired of steak and potatoes, but it helps.
You are not a caveman, okay, Nikki? You are not a caveman.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, and I talk to my friends and I'm like, why is he getting steak and potatoes again? They're like, but it gives you that 30 minutes to not have to go to the market, to not have to plan your meals for the week.
And
So
it's not
just
just the
take it.
30 minutes, it's the headspace of knowing that's something you don't have to do. That is
Yes.
something that you don't need to do. I love all of those points. And yes, their time does go so quickly, but our children evolve into different stages. And the more
Hmm.
present you can be and be aware in each of those stages, you get to appreciate them at different levels. Okay, my littlest is 7. He was an absolute pain as a baby. Didn't sleep till he was 3. But now I get to enjoy a crazy, funny, comedic 7-year-old.
Oh.
Okay, but enjoy the moment. So, yes, the time does go quick, but mums, please don't feel guilty for not spending them each and every moment because they're going to evolve. And at every stage they evolve, you get to appreciate the person they are at that time. So
Hmm.
that is the best bit. You've got 18 years of enjoying beautiful children, hopefully more, but before they go off to college or study or work or travel. And you get to enjoy exactly who they are at those moments. So definitely love, Nikki, all of those points. And yes, ladies, please make sure you let your partner and husband help you. I remember with the boys, similar control freak to you, I had to let it go on how he changed nappies, how he bathed them, how he got them dressed because it was different to how I did it.
Yes.
But we got to the same point. So I had to learn to let it go.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I'm running around, like you said, as a crazy person doing everything, feeling frustrated. And everyone's just chilling out on the couch. Oh, life's good. So, yeah, I love all of those points. Thank you so much. Ladies and everyone who is listening, I hope you have really felt the passion that Nikki is speaking. I hope you have felt the warmth and the guidance that she is heading into in her leadership role within social work for women and families on their fertility and nurturing journey. It is a powerful space that women can feel safe to ask for help. Nikki, and you're going to do incredible, incredible things in leading women in basically on the experience that you have shared and lived in your life. And that is going to mean so much to you going forward. So thank you so much for openly sharing and sharing those tips with us too, because something so simple, when you hear it a few times, makes sense. So I hope that women have really resonated with you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, I just want to add if anyone ever is struggling with infertility, breastfeeding, anything like that, feel free to talk to people about it because part of how you found me and part of what helped me is I stayed in my bubble because I wanted to seem perfect. And it wasn't until I started posting about these struggles that I had that I found out of the woodwork all these people who also had infertility problems or people who were curious if they possibly had endometriosis or things like that. And not only could I help them, but it gave me the confidence to continue seeking medical help or to go to support groups and things like that. So adding on to that advice, if you at all are scared, if there's a community for you and women do
Absolutely.
incredible things together.
Yeah, we do. And it's a really great, powerful point that you share. And I love everything about it. And once you do become vulnerable, it really does open the eyes and it's creating the comfort to let women know you're not broken. It could just be really difficult at this moment. It could be a difficult time in your life. You're not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. There is always a solution. And I hope that your message gets that out there for your women and your support team as well, because, like you said, we do incredible things together. And this is the power of sharing a story. This is the power of me sharing my identity crisis as a multitasking mum. And this is me listening and receiving information from Niki sharing her story. That is going to do incredible things. So reach out and spend some time connecting with people that set your soul on fire and share vulnerably, because when you do, it's a soul connection that changes your energetic field rather than scrolling and feeling like you're not good enough, that you're comparing yourself to this Insta, this TikTok, this person. Connect with people that are going to share something with you who are real women and ask them a question, DM them, comment. You never know where it could take you, but you also never know how their advice or one suggestion could change the whole trajectory of your life. You know, Niki sharing her story. Yeah, Niki sharing her story to you could just get you to make that phone call, could get you to contact that support group, could get you to message Niki perhaps and say, I feel exactly the same as you and I'm so enlightened by you. The flow and effect is that Niki feels enlightened and she feels really good and bubbly, that she's made an impact on just one person, because that's what we're here for, is just to impact one person. So Niki, thank you so much. To everyone who is following, I have tagged Niki's pages here below in the story. Please go ahead and follow, like, and comment on her posts and her story to share the love. That is the most important part as well. So Niki, thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Monday afternoon, and I look forward to commenting and seeing your amazing progress over on Insta.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Claire, and I look forward to chatting with you more later.